My name is Dr. Maria Flores-Sperling, and this is my story, living with multiple sclerosis.
Can you tell us about the day you were diagnosed?
Yes, an exciting day for me because I was having a graduation. The next day, I was having a big graduation party, and then I started feeling sick. And when I went to the hospital, they did, and I'm used to going to the hospital because I was going all the time. And they never found anything wrong with me. And this time they drew my blood and they brought me into the room, which was different. Usually they draw my blood and sit me back down. So I said, something's going on. And then they did a CAT scan, came back, found something wrong. And I was so excited. You don't know what it is to go to the hospital over and over. And I'm talking years, like 10 years, and telling me, oh, you just got a little stomach virus, you'll be all right. But this time they had a Puerto Rican neurologist. She came from Puerto Rico and she was doing some rounds here in the States. And she's the one that found it. They went ahead and did a spinal tap, MRI, CAT scan, blood work. Around midnight, they came to my room and they said, you have multiple sclerosis. And that wasn't strange to me because half of my family have it.
For those unfamiliar, can you explain what multiple sclerosis or MS is?
Sort of like a virus, I believe, that your immune system attacks your brain and your spinal cord, your central nervous system. So you don't know you have it until you have it. And it can cause a lot of, the symptoms are hard to even express because it attacks your brain, attacks your spinal cord. So you're going to be looking. That's why they never diagnosed me so quick. They did diagnose. It took so long because it was one thing or another, and they couldn't figure it out.
What does it look like for you when your MS flares up?
For me, and I'm glad you say for me because we're all different, and some people may have. My doctor said scars are called. That's what the virus does. Scars are literally scars that it leaves in your brain and your spinal cord. And those scars, just like a scab that you have on your leg or something when you were little, and if you open it up, it bleeds, right? So in your brain or my spinal cord, when it opens up, I get symptoms. So what it looks like could be I may not be able to walk, or I may not be able to talk. I slur a lot, or the pain is unbearable. I can't, I got to be in bed and I'm like literally crying and like a big baby in fetal position, crying. Heating pads, it's just so many things that happen to me when I relapse. So it depends. Is it a big relapse that I have to go to the hospital, or is it one that I can handle here with the slew of medication that I have? I have methadone, oxycodone, morphine, name it, I have it, and all that. I'd rather do that than to go lay in the hospital for, and they usually keep me. And then they pump me full of steroids. They want to make more money. They'll do an MRI, they'll do this, they'll do that. When they know it's MS, multiple sclerosis, and they know that there's nothing they can do for me other than giving me pain medicine, but they do all this stuff. And it really harms me more because I blow up like a balloon. My face gets really round. My stomach gets really big, and I'd rather not do any of that. I'd rather stay home and take care of myself.
Besides medication, what things at home do you do to manage symptoms?
I have heating pad that I've been through like 20 of them, no lie. Teas, sometimes just listening to my favorite movie or listening to music that I like, doing things that are soothing to me. Actually, I could be dying in bed, and my husband has mentioned that, and somebody calls me and I start laughing and how are you feeling? Oh, I'm fine. He's like, you're not fine. I'm like, shush, shush. That makes me feel better. So I changed just like that.
How do these objects to the right of you help you?
Well, this is my little buddy right here. When I'm off balance, that's one of my major symptoms. I'm off balance, so I use this to keep me in balance and to help me move around. When I go to the doctors, usually I don't use it in the house too much, but this one is my walker. That one I use it sometimes for months because I was told that if I'm had a relapse and my back hurts a lot or my side, if I don't use, they call them aids, if I don't use an aid, I'm going to be going toward the side that doesn't hurt. And that's why you see some people walking funny, like hooped, like humped over. So this keeps me walking straight like this. And I don't mind. I'll be rolling all around here with that little my walker. And because it's so far from the kitchen to my bedroom, I'll open up my seat and I'll make a list and I'll put in, if it's a soda or crackers or whatever, so I don't have to come back. So it helps a lot.
Can you share some of the difficulties of this virus that you wish the public was more aware of?
I wish they would know that you can't look at me and say, "Oh, you look great. You're not sick," and that's what people say to me. You're not sick anymore, huh? You look great. It's internal. All of it is internal. So, and it's not going to get better because the scabs that I get, the internal scabs, they're not going to get any better. They call them lesions also. So it depends who's calling them. So the lesions will not get better. That's what they're working on now, getting to close up those lesions. If those lesions were gone, were close, I would be great, but they're not. And at any moment, I can go to bed fine, wake up, some lesion got opened up. I don't know why, and if it's the lesion that's connected from my brain to my legs, it's happened where both legs did not work. That's how I got my little friend over there because my husband could not carry me. I was dead weight. And he was just so scared and so upset. He was like, "I'll go to the store." He remembered the cart, the little thing, but and then he dragged me on it, and I was able to sit there. But stuff like that, that's how I got these things by necessity. So it's really hard. People don't know that. I get the disability parking thing, and sometimes I feel people look at me like there's nothing wrong with her, but you don't know. You don't know what's going on with a person internally or mentally. You just don't know.
What does, quote, taking care of yourself look like?
I don't do very much, and I should do more. But lately, I've been doing more because I am by myself. I'm here. My husband goes to work at 8 o'clock in the morning and he returns around 6. We do talk on the phone, but I do a lot of arts and crafts. I really get to do a lot of that, and that takes my mind away. I try not to do a lot of thinking. That hurts me if I start thinking and feeling sorry for myself, which I never have. So mostly taking care of myself is don't argue with anybody. Don't go on Facebook and argue with anybody. That really gets me upset. Just go to sleep if I want to go to sleep. Go ahead and take a nap and don't feel guilty about it because I'm used to working and doing this and doing that. And I feel guilty about taking care of me. So it's taken me, I've been diagnosed for 12 years. And I think the last 2 years I've been taking care of myself.
If someone in our audience wants to help their own family member, what is your advice?
Don't stress them out. Please be nice. Just let them tell you what they feel. Don't tell them because honestly, I could be walking from one room to the other and my leg just drops. They call it drop leg. My leg drops and it hurts like crazy. And anyone could say, "Oh, she's faking it. That's not real. How can you go from there to there?" But that's the way it is.
Thank you for sharing your story. Are there any final words that you'd like to speak to someone?
My husband, I'll start crying. And thank God for him because honestly, if I was in another relationship that I had been in, I would probably would have been dead by now because stress is the number one thing that would really harm me and other people around me, like my mother, my family, my Puerto Rican half. They would have done me in. And so I just want to say thank you to my husband for being there, taking care of me, even washing me when I couldn't wash myself. Just a lot of things that some people actually, I was in a group, online group, and a lot of the husbands left the women. They said, I didn't sign up for this, and they left them. And I'm like, how can you just say, if it were reversed? So he never, ever, ever rose his voice to me or ever said I was faking it. But the doctor talks to him more than me. And I'm so grateful for the doctor that I have. He tells him, Charles, when she has a little pain in her leg, it's not like when we have it. For us, it's a little pain. For her, it's like sharp pains, and whatever he's explaining, he lets him know how it feels, and that makes a better husband that he can take care of me.